Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I know I mentioned in a couple of videos I was going to do a mining rig, and I have finally managed to build the mining rig. I was going to video it, but then I decided not to, just because I didn't want to look like an idiot, because I don't know what I'm doing. So I'll just do this sort of brief overview of what I've done and how I've managed to get it going and how much the actual mining rig costs. So I'll just flip this for you guys. Right, so this is the mining rig. As you can see, I've made a little frame myself, just out of some spare wood that was lying around, and painted it. So this is just a rough frame. So if any of you guys want to build your own frame, just, it's dead easy to do. I will go over all the parts that I've got and how much things have cost. But this is generally what it's looking like. It does run, it does work, but I do have one slight issue which I will let you guys know about now. As you can see, I've got two graphics cards, the motherboard and the CPU and everything's underneath there, all plugged in. So yeah, so why am I actually not running this rig at the moment? Now, well, the reason I'm not running it right now is because of the graphics cards. Like I said, there's two graphics cards. I actually got these graphics cards free from a family member, but as you can see, the GTX 660s, and I don't actually know how much gigabytes of RAM they use, and I've plugged it all up, put the software on it to mine, and the software just comes up saying error for both cards. Now, I'm assuming that the cards aren't good enough to mine off. So that's the reason why I'm currently not running this mining rig, and it's just sat here. I'm trying to get at least one graphics card. So guys, if you're looking out for graphics cards, you're building your own mining rig, the card I'm going to look for, and the lowest card I'm going to look for, is going to be a 1050 Ti, because that's what's actually in my computer, my PC. It's a 1050 Ti 4 gig. So that's what I'm going to be looking for. I'm not going to look for anything less than that, because I just don't know if it'll run. So that's the cards I'm going to look for. It's up to you guys if you want to look for lower cards that might run. If you do, I suggest looking for nothing less than 4 gig. I think 4 gig will be the minimum that you can use to run the mining rigs. So if you get a low card that's like maybe a 9 something, just make sure it might be like a 4 gig card. But yeah, so that's why I'm not running this. But like I said, so I got them for free. But the cards are irrelevant; they don't work. As you can see, I've got GPU risers plugged in. Now my GPU risers I bought a while back, so I don't actually know how much I paid for them. But you can pick them up from anywhere. Well, it depends on how many you get. You can get various packs as well. I bought a 3-pack. So I'm going to say they're probably around, and this is all going to be in pounds, by the way, because I live in the UK. So if you need to convert it, just go ahead and convert it to whatever country you're in. But yeah, so my risers, I'm going to guess they're around about a £5 for the three, £5. We come over here to my power supply. So this is a Corsair RM650, which I think is going to be more than enough to run one, maybe 2 cards. I'm only starting off with a couple of cards. Well, I was going to, but now I'm going to have to start off with 1 card. But that'll be plenty enough to run 1 card on. And I picked that up. That's brand new. I picked that up for around about £97, I think it was. It's all wired in, all plugged in, and some of these wires as well, which I'll try and show you all, but I don't think most of these wires need to be plugged in. I just literally plugged as many wires in as I can to try and make sure that it would run. But yeah, so that I picked up for £97. Now this blue wire here, I had to buy one of these wires because I didn't realise that I needed one. So that put me back by a day, I think, because I had to wait for this to come in. But this is the wire that's just plugged into my Kingston SSD 120 gig SSD drive. Again, I don't know if I need both of these plugged in, but I did it anyway just to make sure that it was plugged in and working, and it does. So I'm not going to mess around taking wires out, because if I take a wire out and it doesn't work, then I'm buggered. But yeah, so I've plugged both of these in. By the way, that wire that's plugged in, the black wire, came with the power supply. So don't worry about the black wire if you if you get a new one, but make sure you get the wires with the power supply. If you go in second hand, make sure you get all your wires as well. Obviously, like I said, I got this this power supply brand new, so all these wires actually did come with it, but this blue wire didn't. I had to pay for that separately. So just be aware, you might need one of these wires. So obviously that's plugged into there, and then as you can see down there, it runs into one of them sockets there. So that's that. And just try and get round here. So this, you only see this big wire here. This is the actual main wire to power the motherboard itself. There's only one slot on it. It's pretty easy when you get round to doing it. Like I said, most things will slot in. You can see where they slot in. It's not that difficult, but that's the main power supply for the motherboard, and obviously it just plugs in round the back somewhere underneath here. So as you can see, you know, there's only a few places it can go, so it is pretty easy. Next is the RAM. I don't know if we can just get through these wires, but that's my RAM there. I've only got one RAM, and it will be enough, but make sure you get an 8 gig RAM. Don't go any less than 8 gig. If you do go less than 8 gig, if you only get 4 gig, you need 2. So make sure you get nothing, especially if you're going to be doing it on a Windows operating system, you need 8 gig minimum. So if you do go less than 8 gig, make sure you have 2 in there. I only have the one, which is the 8 gig, which is fine. And that cost me £20. Again, these wires, this blue wire, I paid, I think it were around about, let's call it £6 for a pack of 5. So that wasn't too bad for that wire. Let's just get round this side so we can see. Right, so obviously my CPU is in there. This is obviously the external fan. It's all been like screwed down and that, so I can't really show you the CPU. But make sure when you get your motherboard that you get the right CPU for the motherboard, and I don't think I'll be able to show you. It does say, oh yeah, it's right at the back. I can't get it to it. I don't think I can get to it. And just see if I can whip. Oh yeah, just about there. Right, so where you can see there says LGA 1151. That is the socket type on the motherboard. So when you get, let's get out, when you get your CPU, make sure your CPU is the compatible one to your motherboard. So if you have this specific motherboard that I've got, which is that one, which is a Gigabyte GA1110D3A. If you have one of them motherboards, that's the CPU socket you need. So long as that socket is, your CPU is that socket, you'll be absolutely fine. Now obviously I got the CPU and fan together. That was second hand, but I picked that up for around about £25, so that was quite cheap. And then as you can see, the CPU fan plugs in. You'll be able to see it there at the back. I'll just try. So right there it says CPU fan. So that just plugs straight in. Like I said, most of the wires you'll be able to just plug straight in and it tells you where they are. It's not that difficult. Now, on my CPU cooler, it looked like there was some thermal paste already on it, but to me it just looked a bit thin. So I actually went and bought some more thermal paste and put a dollop on and then screwed it down. I don't think you have to, but like I said, to me it just looked a bit thin, and with this mining rig going to be running 24/7, I don't want the CPU to be burning out and causing performance issues. So I just put a dab of more thermal paste on and then made sure that my CPU fan was correctly slotted in and fitted in and screwed down. So that's that, and I think we're pretty much there really. I think that's about everything really. So in total, all the parts, well, obviously excluding that blue wire because I've not done the tally for that, but it rounded up to round about £237, I think it were. So let's call it 245, including that blue wire. So about, oh sorry, no, hang on, sorry, I've just realised we've missed out the most important bit, which is our power button. Now this caused me a lot of issues because I didn't actually know where it went. At first I thought that it went into this slot here because it's a 2-prong, and that's what my power button is. It's like a 2-prong power button, and then when I tried turning it on, it wouldn't boot up, so I thought that I maybe got something else wrong. And then I actually thought, I don't know if you can see it there, there's another 2-prong sort of thing there, which I thought that it might have been that one. So I tried that one and it didn't work. So I did a bit of research and found out that it's actually the slot for it is actually inside this there. So where it says PW and it's like a red slot in there, I'll just take this out just so you guys can actually see. Right, so as you can see, it's actually like a red colour and it says PW power. That is actually the slot for your power button, so that just slots in there. And I do recommend you using a power button. I have seen people use screwdrivers, but I have heard that if you use a screwdriver, your chances are that you can actually knacker your motherboard, and you don't want to be doing anything that could jeopardise ruining your mining rig. So for the sake of, I think it was £2.50 off eBay, you know what I mean, a power button, just a simple on and off button, and you know it saves wrecking any components. And I actually did forget as well the actual main bit, which is the motherboard. The motherboard, I picked that up for around about £80. So like I say, all in all really, including this blue wire which I just recently bought, everything's cost me around about 240, let's round up to about 240 quid. Which is considerably cheaper than what I've seen on eBay. I've seen some people do a mining rig which was $1,000, which to me, converting, I think it's going to be around about 800 quid, which is considerably more than what I can afford. Obviously that's probably including the GPUs, to be fair though, so it is probably going to be quite a cheap build that. But like I said, I got these cards for free, but they don't work anyway, so I'm going to have to fork out for a card. So I'm going to try and find a graphics card relatively cheap. Like I said, I'm going to look at getting nothing less than a 1050 Ti 4GB just to start off with, and then work on building up from there. So that's probably going to be somewhere maybe around, let's just say between 100 to 200, maybe even 250 for a graphics card, £100 to £250. So if we round that onto our tally, we're probably looking somewhere around the 350 to 600 mark. So it's probably not that far off from being the same price as what I've seen on YouTube, to be fair. Yeah, like when they said it's $1,000. So, but yeah, so I just thought I'd do this video for you guys just to say, like, you know, this is the sort of update so far on the mining rig. I had a setback, like I said, with the graphics cards, but you know, that's just happens sometimes. So, but yeah, thanks for the comments, the likes, the subscribes. I know I say this all the time on all my videos, but it is very much appreciated. I will be doing maybe an update video today as well on Stormgain. I don't know if you guys saw in the beginning of this video, but I was actually on the Stormgain app just watching the price of Bitcoin. So I will go through a video on that, and I'll show you what I've got so far, like in terms of profit or loss. But yeah, so stay tuned for that video as well, guys, and I'll see you later on today. See ya.